What's going on, guys? This is Miasin and welcome to my KSHATRI-LA combos. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Apparently it's a KSHATRI-LA or something. It's a Chinese word. I can't Chinese. But yeah, this deck is actually really terrifying. It's probably the new Sword Soul or something. It's a deck that doesn't really utilize its graveyard. Therefore, you can already tell that D-Shifter is really broken. And it has a built-in Macrocosmos in it. So imagine, Virtual World was really good with Shen being like a semi-Macrocosmos, but this one has like the full thing. It's pretty easy to summon. The deck has a lot of one-card combos. It can play a lot of Handshots, etc. It doesn't actually lose to Artifact Scythe. It just does so much, and it can also abuse a lot of Floodgates. So there's just so much going for it. So today I'll be showing you guys 4 combos on how to utilize this deck correctly. But of course, you already know it. Before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch and Instagram. Let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes, because as soon as we get those 1,000 likes, I will be making a live stream on this deck. And also, you already know it, deck profile coming out tomorrow. And now let's get right into it. Alright, so combo number 1 is just Unicorn. So it's literally just a 1-card combo. Doesn't get any more simple than that. This one searches a spell card once per turn. It's not even on the summon, so it can stay there, and then every single turn, you get to search a spell card for free. It's way too good. And also, when your opponent activates a monster effect on the resolution, well, on a separate chain link, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and make him lose 1 card face down. So it's kind of very similar to the Silver Rocket, I think. That's the name of the rocket monster that looks at the extra deck, and also Litho Sage him, and in a way, Ghost Reaper. Anyways, we're searching Papillas, which summons a monster from the deck, because that is very fair. What's wrong with summoning a monster from the deck and not negating its effects? What the heck is this card design? The only drawback is that you can only summon Xyz monsters for the rest of the turn. You think I care? I only play 15 Xyz monsters in my extra deck anyways. I couldn't care less. So yeah, you have to summon a monster with a different attribute than the monster that you targeted. So again, if you target Unicorn, you summon Fenrir. Fenrir searches a monster, and that would be the Riseheart, which is a fire monster, level 4 that can summon itself, and we're going to be making Shangri-La now, and now we're going to be summoning the Riseheart. So now we're going to be using the effect of Riseheart, banish the Papillas in order to trigger the effect of Shangri-La. Since a card was banished face down on our opponent's field, well, opponent's possession, we get to target 1 card in the opponent's, one zone rather. It can be used while Shangri-La is on the field. And since the effect of Shangri-La was used this turn, you can simply summon a Riseheart on top of any KSHATRI-LA monster you can show. So that's kind of unfair. Very similar to Zeus in a way, the way that you need to fulfill a certain condition in order to simply summon a Riseheart on top of anything. It doesn't even have to be on top of Shangri-La, and it can technically be on top of a level 4 monster. It's just literally any KSHATRI-LA. So that's ridiculous. 1 single card ends on Shangri-La as well as a Riseheart. That's actually multiple interruptions. You are going to see why in a second. So on the opponent's standby phase, you get to summon any KSHATRI-LA monster from the deck to the field. So in this situation, Fenrir is actually really good, because when our opponent activates a monster effect, you can make your opponent lose a face-up card of the field, banishing it face down. So that's just ridiculous. So we have a banish, and we have another banish in the form of a Riseheart if we get 3 materials underneath it. And every single time a card is banished face down on our opponents, we get to lock another zone. So at one point, maybe our opponent won't even have zones at this point. And again, banishing even more cards, attaching card to the Riseheart, getting rid of that annoying Fenrir. And we're going to also be attaching back cards again and again and again. This is not once per turn, it's just like once per chain or something. And since the Papillas was banished, we get to recycle back a KSHATRI-LA from the banish to the hand. So we even have a follow-up just with 1 card. And even if our opponent manages to break the whole board, our follow-up is completely lethal, because we get to just do so much with basically almost nothing. It's ridiculous. The Birth is searchable, is like a searchable monster reborn from the grave or banished, searchable by a Unicorn. And then, of course, getting to banish that Papillas to recycle back another card again and again and again. So just like that, we can get Zeused and just not really care, because everything is an OTK in like freaking 2 seconds. So yeah, 1 card equals 2 interruptions, snowball at the speed of light, and a follow-up. Ridiculous, right? Alright, combo number 2. This time my hand is a little worse, but not really. Fenrir as well as Birth. It's really not worse, actually. Definitely not. Because even though you don't have Unicorn, which is the 1-card starter, we can still get to Unicorn by normal summoning it without a tribute thanks to Birth. So this card is actually kind of insane. And of course, we get to search the Papillas, which gets to summon the Riseheart. No, the Riseheart, rather. Not the Arise. And now, Jesus, my freaking throat. Banish the Ogre with the effect of Riseheart. Revive it back with the Birth. And then search for the Trap card, which is another Monster Reborn. Clearly, this deck has all the Monster Reborns in the world. And again, I'm going to be summoning another Fenrir on the standby phase. Our opponent is under freaking Macrocosmos, so imagine playing against a deck that utilizes its graveyard. And not gonna be having too much fun, huh? And again, banishing more cards again and again, make my opponent lose cards from the top of the deck. Basically, I get to look at the 5 cards, and then banish one of them face down with the effect of Ogre. Honestly, it's still by far the worst out of the 3 main deck level 7 KSHATRI-LAs though. But yeah, Riseheart is going to be getting even more materials, Shangri-La is going to be stopping even more zones. Nice 2 zones that you're playing with, basically. And in this context, since Shangri-La is in this extra monster zone, and we can block this zone, decks like Salamangreat will have a very tough time at reviving back something like Jaguar, because the Veilings is pointing here, and Jaguar has to be revived back here. So even without the Riseheart, you can still stop Salamangreat very well. It's actually pretty absurd. But yeah, revive back, whatever, it really doesn't matter. Only playing with 1 zone, Jesus, this is gonna be really scary. You can even target spell and trap zones by that effect. So even against back row decks, it can still have a lot of value. Like imagine Eldritch only allowed to set 1 trap card every single turn. That's a nice deck you got there. So yeah, this deck is well equipped to beat everything. And with only 2 cards, look at the crazy snowballing. Yeah, that doesn't really look like a rogue deck to me. It's definitely tier 1 status. We start with 5 cards, and then we get to freaking draw even more cards, and just search every single freaking 2 seconds. You basically get to search like freaking 4 cards per turn. It's kind of absurd. So yeah, that's it for this one. Let's get right into combo number 3 now. So what happens when you don't necessarily draw ideal? Here I have Reinforcement of the Army with Papillas. It's still really good, don't worry. So I'm searching the Riseheart, and now special summon the Unicorn, which allows me to search the Birth, because the field spell is actually not a KSHATRI-LA card, ironically. But anyways, Birth, revive back the Fenrir, and then search for kind of doesn't really matter too much. It's rather just going to be for next turn. And just like that, even when my hand isn't even the greatest and I can't trigger Shangri-La on my own turn, I can still summon the Riseheart the hard way by using 3 level 7 monsters. And since I already have 3 materials, I don't even have to like worry about, you know, cards getting banished in order to attach more materials. I can use the effect right away. I'm going to be replenishing back the materials in literally 2 seconds, and next turn the Birth can revive back any of the KSHATRI-LAs that I banish, because I'm, you know, detaching them. And again, this is a Macrocosmos, so this card is absolutely freaking terrifying. It's just like one of the best boss monsters I've ever read in my entire life, and you don't even have to have any materials underneath in order to apply the Macrocosmos effect. So again, 2 cards equals Macrocosmos, quick effect banish, a follow-up for next turn, any card in hand. What more could you ask for? Alright, the 4th and final combo, what happens when you get a Handshot or whatever? I mean, pretty much every hand can play through 1 to 2 Handshots. Sometimes maybe even more, it really depends. But yeah, this deck is just very resilient, and it has a lot of consistency cards because the extra deck really isn't that important outside of like Shangri-La and Riseheart, sorry, but you can still win the game even without those cards. So yeah, in this context, I have Extravagance, Triple Tactic Talents, Birth, Prosperity, and Riseheart. I'm going to be getting Ash on the Extravagance because nobody would be stupid enough to let an Extravagance resolve. It's basically Pot of Greed. But the cool thing about having both Extravagance and Prosperity in your deck is that if your Extravagance doesn't resolve, you can still legally activate Prosperity. Dig for 6 cards because, again, the extra deck doesn't matter that much. Search the Unicorn, make my opponent lose another card. And when I summon that Unicorn, sure, I will get Impermed, but I still have the Riseheart as well as the Birth in my deck. So that's actually really freaking good. And I can still play the game very well. So yeah, revive back the Fenrir, which again allows me to search. Jesus, this is so unfair, man. My opponent is down to 2 cards, and I have so much on my I have so much to play with. So again, Macrocosmos, quick effect banish, revival on my opponent's turn, a banish again. So triple interruptions, 4 interruptions because of the Unicorn that I'm about to summon. So yeah, banish that Splight Blue, and then attach back. I'm going to be banishing that Swap Frog again, revive back the Unicorn. Oh my god, just what is this deck? What is it? This is literally by far one of the best decks I have ever seen in a freaking minute. It's actually absurd. And yeah, your follow-up, I think you already have Lethal on board, but just to insult your opponent even more, you could get a Handshot, and it really doesn't matter because your searches don't matter when you already stabilize. You can just revive back 10 billion cards again and again and again. Your field spell is also like the primal planet of KSHATRI-LA, so whenever you use the effect of Shangri-La, you can pop a card on the field. So that's actually very appreciated. And again, by banishing the Papillas, you can recycle back a KSHATRI-LA monster. Is that even needed? Not really, because Oh my god, just 2 cards was needed for all of that. That's like insult to injury. Well, not really 2 cards, but because, you know, I did get a Handshot, so a bunch of the cards were there to like make sure that I could push through those Handshots. But still, this deck is very consistent, can pretty much achieve the same thing every single time. If you win the dice roll, you're always winning going first because, again, all you need is 1 card to play. And if you're going second, you can abuse D-Shifter, Board Breakers, you can Prosperity into Dark Ruler no more. You can just do so much, and the KSHATRI-LA monsters are basically all Pancratops, so you're breaking boards inherently without even thinking about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know your thoughts about this deck in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for tomorrow's deck profile, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.